Today I am flying Air Arabia, one of the largest low-cost airlines in the Middle East. The journey will take us from Istanbul Sabiha Gökçen to Abu Dhabi, the capital of the UAE. This is my first time flying Air Arabia, and to be honest, I don't really know what to expect. So, is Air Arabia a good low-cost airline? Well, let's head to the airport and find out. Good afternoon and welcome to another airline review. My flight today is Air Arabia 3L362, departing Istanbul at 4:10 p.m. and arriving in Abu Dhabi at 9:35 p.m. local time. Flight time will be about 3.5 hours. The journey begins at Istanbul Sabiha Gökçen or SAW airport. Istanbul has two major airports, IST and SAW. IST or Istanbul Airport is the one I flew into when I reviewed Turkish Airlines, and it mostly caters to full-service carriers. SAW, on the other hand, is Turkey's main low-cost hub. Opened since 2001, Sabiha Gökçen is the smaller and older of the two. It is located over 30 kilometers east of the Bosporus on the Asian side of Istanbul. There are two main ways to get here by public transit. If you are already on the Asian side, you can take Metro Line 4 from Kadıköy station. If you are on the European side, the easiest way to get here is to catch the Hava bus, which will take you directly to Sabiha Gökçen in about 90 minutes for less than €4. The airport is named after the world's first female fighter pilot and adoptive daughter of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founder of the Republic of Turkey. So, what's it like? Well, the first thing to know is that SAW is ram-packed full at all times. I have flown out of here 4 times in the past and it was always like this, even at 3 a.m. There is a security check right at the entrance, and that one took about 10 minutes. I didn't have any bags to check in, so I headed straight through immigration and toward the second security check. Those procedures took about half an hour. So yeah, come here with enough time to spare. The fact that the airport is so crowded is no surprise. It was designed to handle 3 million passengers per year when it opened in 2001. Just 8 years later, it was expanded to a maximum capacity of 25 million passengers per year. But that still wasn't enough, because in 2022, well over 30 million passengers used Sabiha Gökçen. So yeah, the airport has clearly reached its limits. I am not sure if they will build another airport in Istanbul, or expand this one again, or divert more airlines to IST, but something clearly has to be done, because this situation will not work in the long run. Apart from the fact that it is super crowded, SAW is a pretty standard low-cost airport. It is the hub of Turkey's two main budget airlines, Pegasus and Anadolu Jet, recently rebranded to AJet. AJet is the low-cost subsidiary of Turkish Airlines. In this context, they only fly to SAW, while Turkish only flies to IST. Apart from those two airlines, you'll find many Middle Eastern low-cost carriers like Air Arabia, Jazeera and Fly Dubai here. The departure zone has countless shops and restaurants, as well as a food court. The prices, however, do not make any sense. A Coke costs €5.50 and a bottle of Evian 9. But then you can also get Turkish water for €2. I was pretty hungry, so I went to check out the food court. At a place called Usta Döner, I got an entire combo meal with a dürüm, some fries and a Coke for 320 Turkish lira. So yeah, at SAW you can spend €9 on an entire meal, or you can buy one bottle of Evian. I know that Evian is premium water, but this still does not make any sense. One massive negative point here is that you only get 1 hour of free Wi-Fi. Istanbul Airport also has this policy, and it is truly ridiculous. People have been criticizing the Wi-Fi situation at both airports for years, but you still have to pay extra if you want to be online for more than 60 minutes. So yeah, an airport with quite a few issues, but I do want to emphasize that I never experienced any major delays here, so I guess that it is relatively well organized. As we are waiting at the gate, let's talk about Air Arabia, an airline that has seen massive growth in recent years. It was founded in 2003 and is based in Sharjah, one of the 7 Emirates that make up the UAE. What makes Air Arabia special is that it is a publicly owned joint stock company and the first airline of its kind in the Middle East. Their current fleet consists of 64 planes, 55 Airbus A320-200s, 6 A321LRs and 3 A321neos. These numbers, however, will soon be outdated because Air Arabia has no fewer than 120 planes on order, mostly A320neos. Air Arabia has its main base in Sharjah, but they also have secondary hubs in Abu Dhabi and Ras Al Khaimah. As of 2024, they fly to 190 destinations in the Middle East, Central Asia, India, North Africa and Europe. And here's my plane, a 15-year-old Airbus A320-200. It arrived around 1 hour and 20 minutes before it was scheduled to take off again. We started boarding at 3:30, 40 minutes before departure. The process was efficient and they managed to get everyone on board in about 15 minutes. I had read online that Air Arabia is super strict about cabin baggage, but on this particular flight they didn't check any bags, maybe because the flight wasn't full. And here we are. This is Air Arabia's A320 cabin. There are 168 seats in a 3+3 configuration. Unlike on other budget airlines, there are no extra legroom seats, just emergency exit rows. I am sitting in 21 Alpha today, a nice window seat in the back of the plane. I have to say that I do like this fabric. It is sort of a scratchy cloth, but it is very comfortable and the seat does recline. The legroom isn't too bad for a low-cost airline, and there is a standard tray table. Pillows and blankets were not available, but I guess you wouldn't expect those on a budget carrier. Even without a proper headrest, the seats were a pretty nice place to sit for a few hours. There are no plugs or USB ports, which isn't all that surprising, but Air Arabia does have in-flight entertainment, which you can stream to your own device. We'll have a look at that later. I am also very pleased to report that this flight was only about 70% full and I had 3 seats to myself. As we were getting ready to taxi out to the runway, an Islamic travel prayer was broadcasted over the loudspeakers.
اللهم إنا نسألك في سفرنا هذا البر والتقوى ومن العمل ما ترضى. اللهم هون علينا سفرنا هذا.
After a short taxi, we were soon hurtling down the runway and took off at 4:07, 3 minutes earlier than expected. Right after reaching cruising altitude, the crew began serving meals to those who had pre-ordered them. I had purchased an add-on package that included a meal and a bottle of water. I went for a warm chicken tandoori sandwich, which was okay. Nothing groundbreaking, but perfectly adequate. If you don't buy an add-on package when booking your ticket, you can still purchase meals on board, and the selection is pretty extensive. They serve snacks, hot and cold meals, as well as sandwiches. Prices are reasonable compared to other budget airlines. One thing that they don't serve is alcohol. Air Arabia is a dry airline, and it is strictly forbidden to bring your own alcohol no matter where you're flying to. They actually repeated this 3 times over the loudspeakers, probably because alcohol can be purchased in the convenience stores at Sabiha Gökçen. Another interesting point to mention is the sheer incredible number of currencies that Air Arabia accepts on board. Among others, you can pay cash in USD, Turkish lira, euros, British pounds, UAE dirham, Omani rial, Qatari rial, and Jordanian pounds. While this is super convenient for passengers, it also means that the crew needs to convert the price of almost every single transaction, which takes a lot of time. Consequently, if you want to speed up the service on Air Arabia, pay by card. Air Arabia being a low-cost airline, there is no personal entertainment screen. There is, however, streaming to your own device. I tried it out on my tablet and it wasn't bad at all. The airline offers a selection of 95 movies, 70 Hollywood, 12 Bollywood, 10 Arabic and 3 Russian ones. While the quality wasn't the best, the streaming service was pretty impressive for a low-cost airline. The loo was kept clean, and the cabin crew were a bit frosty but professional and fast. So yeah, by and large, a positive experience on an airline that people sometimes call the Ryanair of the Middle East. But if you ask me, there is nothing Ryanair about this. For a budget airline with low fares, this is very solid. Now, as we are approaching the UAE, let's talk punctuality, a major factor when it comes to reviewing low-cost airlines. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any official punctuality statistics, but according to aviationdata.info, Air Arabia had a punctuality rate of 88% in 2023. Those are very strong numbers, but again, they are not official figures. Anyways, on this flight, we were very punctual and landed at 8 minutes past 9, 26 minutes ahead of schedule. We are now at Abu Dhabi Zayed International Airport, where I have a connection on a different airline. As we are making our way to the transit zone, it is time to reveal the price. I paid 106 euros, and that included an add-on package with 20 kilos of checked luggage, seat selection, and a sandwich. I didn't actually use the checked luggage allowance, but I still find this exceptional value for money for a 3-hour flight. As such, Air Arabia gets an 8.5 out of 10, certainly more enjoyable than flying the likes of Wizz Air. And that is it for today. Now I would love to know, have you flown Air Arabia before? And if so, what did you think? Please share your stories in the comments down below. As always, thanks very much for watching and see you again next time. Goodbye.